Welcome to the live demonstration of our mobile application TrailX for CE2006 Software Engineering module at NTU. We'll be showing you the step-by-step process for a new user when they start using TrailX.
So let us begin the demonstration by showing how to register a new user. First, the user can enter their full name in the space given. Here we are entering Abhinaya Srinivasan. Following this, the user can enter other parameters like their age, gender, and height. So we have ensured throughout the process that all the keyboards are according to the data type that has to be filled in order to avoid any errors caused when the user enters data. So following this, the user can enter their email ID, then height. We have given guides, for example, in centimeters and in kilograms, so that the user knows what type of data to enter. The user can enter a username of their choice as well as a password. Now, the password has certain criteria to be fulfilled. It has to have at least 8 letters, at least one uppercase letter, at least one number, and a special case character. So as you can see here, when we try to confirm the password and enter an incorrect password, it does not allow the user to proceed until the user enters the correct password. Now here again you can see we have not entered the last character, and if the user tries to enter, it will still not allow. So as you can see, the user is not allowed to cross the registration point until and unless they enter the correct password in both the spaces. Right now we're running this demo on an emulator, which is why the error pop-ups are not printed. But as long as we run the application on an actual mobile phone, an actual Android mobile phone, we can be rest assured that the error messages will pop up. Let us now log in with the user that we had just registered onto the application. So the user is required to enter their email first, followed by the password that they have chosen. Now in both these fields, we have the corresponding error checks, which will pop up when the application is run on an actual Android mobile phone. So here the user has entered the correct password and they have successfully completed login, and they are taken to the home screen. So on the home screen, if they go to the My Account screen, they can see all their personal details which they had entered during registration. So now let us say that the user wants to edit one of their details. They can go to settings and edit it by clicking on the edit button. As you can see, you cannot edit it by directly clicking on the field. So once the user decides to change the data, they can physically type it out here. And there are error checks for this as well. And now they can save the data and it is automatically saved to our database. So now if the user goes back to My Account, the change that they made is clearly reflected here. Let us now begin to show the main functionality of the application, which is to begin a new trail. In order to do this, the user has to go to the Discover New Trails screen. On this screen, there are two different buttons, the Discover Trail by Distance and Discover Trail by Type. So these are the two options that the user has in order to start a new trail, because the aim of our application is to encourage Singaporeans to go out and rediscover the city. So let us see what happens when the user decides to begin a new trail based on a distance. For this, we click on the Discover New Trails by Distance button, which leads us to the Discover Trails by Distance screen. On this screen, the user can enter the approximate distance that they would like to cover on their trail by typing it in the search bar. Following this, they can click on the search button and the application will generate a trail that has a distance that is closest to the distance entered by the user. So here we have a appropriate trail, and we can begin the trail by clicking on the Start Trail button. When the user clicks the Start Trail button, it leads them to the active trail screen. On the active trail screen, the user can officially start the trail by clicking on the play button. Once the user begins their trail, they can view their current location on the map, and they can also view the path of the trail on this map, which we have got through the Mapbox API. The user can also zoom in and zoom out of the map in order to see their location better. Now the user can pause the trail whenever they choose to by pressing the pause button. They can then end the trail once they have completed it by clicking on the end button. Once you begin the trail, the user can view the number of steps that they have completed as well as the calories that they have burnt while on the trail through the calorie counter. The user can also view the weather through the weather icon given above the play and pause buttons. Once the user ends the trail, they can view the trail that they have just completed on the My Trails page. Let us now discover a trail by type. In order to do this, the user has to go to the Discover Trails screen and click on the Trails by Type button. This will then lead the user to the Trails by Type screen, where they can choose between City Trail or Nature Trail. Let us click on the City Trail to explore a trail in the city. So the app generates a random trail in the city, and the user can now begin this trail by clicking on the Start Trail button. Once again, when the user clicks the Start Trail button, it will redirect them to the active trail screen, where all the features that we mentioned earlier can be used by the user. While the user is on a trail, if they experience any emergency situation, for example, if they get hurt, they can go to the emergency SOS screen, which they can access through the home screen using the emergency SOS button. So the user can click on the emergency SOS button, go to the emergency SOS screen, and click on the Make Emergency Call button. So this will then make a call to emergency services, but since we were testing the app and we did not want to actually call emergency services, we have put in one of our numbers instead. While on a trail, the user can also choose to listen to music for their entertainment. For this, they can click on the music button given in the bottom bar, which will lead them to their music screen. Now on the music screen, the user can choose to listen to music from two different options. The first is YouTube, which will then lead them to the YouTube application, and the other is in-app music. Now, when the user clicks on the in-app music button, it would lead them to the in-app music screen, where the user can click on the play button in order to view the list of songs that have been preloaded onto the application. The user can click the forward and backward button in order to change the songs, as well as move the volume seeker in order to increase or decrease the volume.
With this, we have come to the end of our live demonstration of our mobile application TrailX for CE2006 software engineering module. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.